Now, when it comes to craftiness and deception, it ain't even no debate. Women by far are the masters of craftiness and deception. I'm talking about Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, intercontinental heavyweight champions of craftiness and deception. So we gonna talk about it, man. But first, wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Let's go.
Bitch, you want all this pimpin' you can't afford. Perform like a punk, but want a winner's reward. Some suckers give you points, but bitch, you never scored. If you ain't paying pimpin', then bitch, you getting ignored.
Okay.
I'm so sick of these.
Now, one of the main things that will fuel a woman's craftiness and deception is that one thing that we all know they can't stand. That one thing that they treat like they top op. Like it's funk on sight when they see this thing. That thing that I'm talking about, man, y'all already know. Accountability. Now, this don't go for all women, but a very heavy percentage of women have a problem with that thing called accountability, right? And one of the crafty things that they do to evade accountability is to something that is their fault. They'll try to, or they're not try, they will create something that'll overshadow the thing that is their fault, and it'll be a bigger thing that's your fault. Prime example, right? Let me break it down for you. Let's say a woman disrespects you, right? She does something that she's done before and you corrected her about, and she understood and she agreed that it was disrespectful and vows to never do that disrespectful thing again, right? Let's say, some time after that, everything is cool, y'all chilling, and she does this disrespectful thing deliberately again, unwarranted. You haven't disrespected her, you haven't offended her, you haven't violated her in any kind of way, and she just decides to do this disrespectful thing again, right? So let's say that you tell yourself, you know what, I'm gonna give her a break. I'm gonna ease back on this chick, man, because she just undermining my disrespect to a degree that I can't handle, and I don't want to escalate things. I don't want to make matters worse. I don't want to get to disrespecting her and going tit for tat. So I'm gonna ease back, right? So the chick, she get on your line and she apologizing. I was wrong. I shouldn't have disrespected you like that. I know better than that. I apologize. I won't do it again. The whole nine, right? But because she's done this thing more than once, and it came totally from left field, and you don't even know why she did it again, you tell yourself, you know what? I'm not even gonna engage with her, because again, I'm not gonna stoop to her level. I'm not gonna start disrespecting her. I'm not gonna go tit for tat with her. So I'm gonna just continue to, play the background for right now, and maybe by me falling back, she'll understand that it's not a game. Maybe she'll start to understand that, damn, I really messed up. I don't know why I disrespected him. And maybe she'll understand the better way to apologize, which we'll get to in a minute, because words don't mean shit, right? So you don't respond to her apology. You don't acknowledge her apology. You don't, you give no response, right? So this is something that a lot of women will do, and they have different ways of going about doing it. But this is one of the top ways that women will go about evading the accountability and putting it on you to overshadow the fact that they need to be held accountable for the mistake that they made and the disrespect that they committed, right? A chick will create a problem, a situation where she needs your help. She might be in danger, or she might be in a compromising situation, or it might be an emergency, right? And the crazy thing about it, it might really be an emergency situation, but nonetheless, it's a situation that the chick created ultimately to evade and do the Barry Sanders on accountability, right? You know, so she created this emergency situation. Now she blowing you up. She blowing your phone up, blowing your phone up. You at first you ain't answering, but then she keep blowing you up. So then finally you answer the phone like, what's going on? And then she, after calling you 20, 30 times and getting no answer, when she finally does get you on the phone, it's like, you know, I did need you. I needed your help. But, you know, since you don't want to answer the phone, you don't care. Click. And hang up, right? So a sucker will fall for this shit, right? And how the sucker will fall for it is like, well, damn, you know, he gonna sweat her. And now he trying to find out what the emergency is that she needed him for. And she gonna turn the tables on him. She gonna make him pry and, you know, sweat her for the answer of what the emergency was. Then, you know, when she finally does let the emergency be known, you know, the sucker gonna go to apologizing. Like, well, damn, baby, I didn't know that was going on. You know, if I knew that was going on, I would have rushed over there and I would have seen about you, you know, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, right? But the sucker don't know that this whole thing is a tactic. And a lot of y'all suckers be falling for this type of shit, right? So pimping here to put you up on game, right? Because pimping is not going for it. It's never gonna work. It's never gonna work with the pimping, man. You know, pimping is just too up on game. And what a chick who don't know, or what a chick who does that doesn't understand about the pimping is like, this is a rerun. You know what I mean? This is like a Twilight Zone marathon. Pimp done seen this episode 1,000,000 times, right? You're not the originator or the creator of this tactic. You just, you know, it's just in your nature to figure this shit out and try it. But what you don't understand about the pimping is the pimping ain't gonna go, right? But the sucker gonna go. And what happens when you acknowledge the fake, or it might even be real, but the created emergency on her part, when you acknowledge that and then you get to apologizing to her, now you've forgotten all about the disrespect that she committed in the first place, that she never really held herself accountable for, right? And took responsibility by giving the best apology, which I said we would get back to now, which the best apology is corrected behavior. Not just changed behavior, but corrected behavior. The best apology is corrected behavior, right? And a real mature grown woman is going to correct her behavior if her behavior is disrespectful to you, and she acknowledges and she understands and realizes that this behavior is disrespectful or offensive, or, you know, just a black eye to y'all's situation and connection. She's going to correct her behavior, not just change it. She's going to correct it so that you don't have at least this kind of problem in this type of way moving forward. She gonna correct herself with no problem. But a chick who, like I said, accountability is her top op, this is one of the tactics that she gonna pull on you, man. She gonna create something. First, she might apologize verbally, but it's not a real apology because the behavior hasn't been changed and the behavior hasn't been corrected, right? So she might get a hollow, you know, fake verbal apology, and, you know, when you don't respond to that and she's still suffering the consequences of, you know, being denied your attention, right? You staying in pocket on her now. She gonna create this whole thing to try to, you know, place a blame on you and make something your fault. And that's something that is your fault. She's gonna try to make that so big of a deal that it overshadows the thing that was her fault, which was the real issue, the root of this whole nonsense to begin with, which was her being disrespectful or inconsiderate or whatever it may be that can, you know, cause a rift between you. Her not correcting that, right? So hopefully this can be helpful to some of y'all, man. Let that marinate on your mind one time. Freeze is it. Go ahead, put some of this good old love in your body like so. And of course, as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out. Dig this. I've been stroking relentless to get waves like this. I spoke into existence for her to pay like this. In the trenches on a day like this, traffic consistent, and so I have to insist that she relay my chips. It's a trap with her name on it and my game on it. Any forces coming against this game, shame on it. Standing on my pimpin' from day one and remain on it. It carried me through every terrain and I gained on it. Experience joy and pain on it, sustained on it.
But getting back to this game that I never left.
Baby, I wouldn't